All right, what up, Who That Nation? It's your boy Marley G back at y'all another episode of No Cap, No Filter Saints. Once again, we got another special guest in the building. We got Bryan back on the show. He's like a fan favorite of the show right now. He dropping a lot of gems, man. Bryan, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, bro. Like it's been a whole lot going on, bro. I missed your spaces that you did. I reposted it on Twitter, but I heard that you got your ass kicked up in there by the females fans of the Saints, bro. Like, go ahead on and tell me what you was talking about in your spaces for the people that missed it, and just tell me what you thought about what you seen on the field between the Saints and the Cowboys, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's been crazy, man, because everything leading up to the season has been completely the opposite of what we've seen, during the season. Like we were told the offensive line was going to struggle. I haven't seen them struggle yet. We were told that the safety spot. I was definitely one of the people that thought they would struggle. Will Harris has kind of solidified that and made it a non-factor. The only thing that we kind of thought, it has been the opposite is that we thought the pass rush would be good, and as of yet, it hasn't hit home just yet. You can see the pressure trying to be created, but not enough to kind of throw the other quarterback off kilter here. But I mean, so far, bro, it's hard to argue what we're seeing, man, to a point to where when I did the spaces, it was all about apologizing to the Saints, Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, and the offensive line because, man, I didn't see this coming, and I have to, eat my humble pie while it's here.
Yeah, man, I'm seeing a lot of people coming out the woodwork saying "I told you so" for Dennis Allen, for Derek Carr, for Trevor Penning, everything, everybody, just predicted all this. Like 75% of the fan base was just so happy to be right. I mean, they need to go play them lottery numbers because just so happen everybody Miss Cleo around this mug right now.
Yeah, a lot of people like to lie and kind of, attach on as if you can't go back and find their old comments. I'm just one of the, people that I admit my wrong, so it ain't no big thing. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to get some of them right. I mean, if you ain't as loud when I'm wrong as you are when I'm right, then we got an issue right there, alone. So, nah, man, I'm good on it. They can talk what they want to talk and tell me how wrong I was. And, the crazy thing is that some fans really believe there's a displeasure in the Saints being good for me. No, I'm happy that they're good. I'm happy that they've come out the first 2 weeks of the season and look like the best team in football because I'm still a Saints fan at the end of the day. I just want them to be better, which at this point they are. So if you think you doing something by trying to tell me, oh, look at you didn't believe. No, the hell I didn't, and I had good reason not to. But I'm happy to be wrong at this point.
Yeah, it's like they want to be right because we had legit reasons to believe what we believe. We had legit reasons. We ain't just coming off some reasons out of our ass. We had legit reasons, and we wanted to be proven wrong. Show us to prove us wrong. Like we kept saying it all of season. Go out there and go beat the good teams consistently and prove us wrong. And I think a lot of people feel like, the Saints are on a roll now, and we just want our "I told you so" moment at the expense of the Saints losing for us to be right. I think a lot of people think it's like that, but I've said since the beginning of the season, the best thing that could happen if the Saints go to the Superdome in that damn Super Bowl, and Dennis Allen and Derek Carr could prove me wrong. That's the best thing that can happen. I've said that all season, and I said the next best thing that can happen is we have a pretty much mid-year what I think is going to happen, and Dennis Allen get fired. I said that all season. But, let me go ahead on and get into this Cowboys game before we get into this Eagle matchup that we got. What did you see in that Cowboys game, week 2 of that beatdown up in Dallas?
I mean, 6 of 6. And I think we can start and stop right there. 6 scoring opportunities, 6 touchdowns. I mean, it's like the Saints could do no wrong. I mean, the balance and the scheme that Clint Kubiak has brought to the Saints. I mean, he was definitely the right hire. And I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to deny the fact that, man, Dennis Allen pretty much is giving off Sean Payton vibes as far as 2009 is concerned. Now, am I saying the Saints are going to win a Super Bowl? No, I'm not. I hope it happens, but I'm not saying that they will. I'm saying that it reminds me a lot of 2009 because Sean Payton was very loyal to a lot of guys that maybe he shouldn't have been loyal to. Dennis Allen, to a degree, loyal to guys that maybe he shouldn't have been. And when Sean Payton was tired, he had enough. He cut off Joe Vitt and the rest of the guys that he had around, and he brought in a Greg Williams. It changed the complete structure of the franchise moving forward because now the Saints had someone defensively that could match Sean Payton offensively. It seems Dennis Allen took a play right out of Sean Payton's book in the idea of he hired Clint Kubiak. It's the offense he couldn't seem to really figure out as well as he wanted to. Now he has that offense matched with his defense, and it's the perfect blend. I mean, at this point, man, I mean, I'm happy Dennis Allen did the right thing as far as saying, I can't beat this offense. Let me step back. Let me let Clint Kubiak control the offense. I'll run the defense, and we'll worry about the rest of it once the season is over. Hard to argue with the results so far. I believe it's 15 of 16. I'm sorry, 15 of 15 scoring drives, and 14 of 15 of those have been touchdowns. So I mean, it's hard to argue the results.
Okay. At this moment right now, do you think the Saints are pretenders, or you think they're contenders, or do you feel like you're unsure just because it's week 2?
I'm still unsure, but I mean, the craziest part about the NFL is that we're still in a learning process. We're still learning who these teams are and what they'll be in the future. Now, with that being said, the Saints are the best team in football as of right now through 2 weeks, and that's all we can judge them by. If you look at the rest of the teams along the NFL, like the Eagles team that we saw last night struggle with the Falcons and then eventually lose that game. We're seeing some of the better teams in the NFL, barely make it out. Baltimore is 0-2 right now, and we thought that team would be, at 2-0. So, I mean, it's hard to argue with what your record says you are, but right now, man, the Saints are the best team in football, and they are contenders until proven otherwise. I just can't go out and say, yeah, they're there. Now, if they don't make the playoffs after starting 2-0, that's just ridiculous. The schedule favors out long term, and the hardest part of the schedule is what the Saints are facing now. It was going to be the Dallas. It was going to be Philadelphia, behind that. Kansas City coming in. And Kansas City looks very vulnerable right now. So, I mean, yeah, until proven otherwise, they're contenders. I just won't call them a Super Bowl contender just yet.
Before the season started, my floor was 7 wins. My ceiling was 9 wins. I think you had around the same amount of floor and the ceiling wins. After these 2 weeks, do you want to concur? Do you want to change any of that?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm going to stay where I'm at. Simply because I'm not saying the season will go south, but injuries could take place at any time. So no, not that. Not that I'm wishing injuries on anybody. To be honest, I'd rather be proven wrong than to change my opinion. I like the idea that I said I think the Saints would be 7-10. I had every reason to believe that, and until further notice, they still can finish the season 7-10. So no, I'm gonna stay where I'm at for now. I'm gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. I said they wouldn't make the playoffs. I said as long as Dennis Allen won 7 games, he was gonna come back no matter what, and I'm gonna just stick to that for right now. And if Derek Carr and Dennis Allen prove me wrong, and they become an 11-12 win team, first seed, second seed in the playoff matchup, then I mean I'd be happy to take my licks as they come, man, and say, you know what, I was wrong.
Well, some people right now they're going as far as to saying this team is a 14-win team, 3 losses all season. Like I don't see any team in the league doing that. But that's how high this fan base is on this team right now.
And with good reason, because the whole thing coming off of Carolina was simply, well, you beat Carolina. They're the worst team in the NFL and possibly one of the worst teams in NFL history. So if you could beat a good team like Dallas, we'll start to believe. Well, the Saints didn't just beat Dallas. I mean, this was an absolute ass kicking from start to finish, even in the point to where even when you thought Dallas had a chance to mount a comeback, the Saints closed the door immediately. The Saints go out and they score. Dallas comes back with a bomb to CeeDee Lamb on a blown coverage. Okay, what do the Saints do? Go right back and score again. Derek Carr throws the intercept on a tip ball in which he should have completed the pass. Doesn't matter. Saints get the ball right back. Interception, honey badger. I mean, it's exactly what we thought the Saints could do defensively, but it's nowhere near what we thought the Saints would be offensively. So if they got people thinking it's a 14-win team, I'm not going to throw water on your fire. I'm going to let you have it.
Well, the things I'm really looking for with the Saints, like I want to see how we face adversity. I I really feel like when it came to the Panthers, I felt like the Panthers was just a win. Like I really felt like that they had nothing for the Saints. Like matchup wise, nothing for the Saints. I feel like they're just a bad organization right now. I don't believe in Bryce Young. I'm thinking he's a bust. Maybe he could go to another team and have success, but I just was never high on Bryce Young coming into this season. I had them at 4 wins. I couldn't see 5 wins on that schedule from that team. With the Cowboys, it was a little different. I felt like the Cowboys were the better team. I felt like Dak Prescott was the better quarterback. Mike McCarthy was the better coach. They were good at home. But that's probably like one of the reasons I just picked them to win that game. But I did feel like Ferguson made a huge difference, and Bland being out made a huge difference. Like matchup wise, I felt like we could afford to lose a Marshawn Lattimore because we said all offseason that our secondary unit is deep. Like we got the best secondary in the league. So I felt like, with no Ferguson, and when it comes to the passing game, we can afford to lose a Marshawn Lattimore. Even if Marshawn don't play versus the Eagles, I feel like we can afford to let him rest again because it's not going to be AJ Brown out there playing. So, I could see a win from the Saints with the Cowboys, but like you say, in the fashion that they beat them, that was very much impressive. And if they could go out there and duplicate that same success with the Eagles, that'll be impressive too. Even if we beat the Eagles ugly, like you don't have to go out there and dominate the Eagles for me to just give credit. If they beat the Eagles ugly, I will give credit because now you've shown that you could beat the good teams consistently. Now, would I like to see AJ Brown up there? Of course, but at the end of the day, you still got to give the credit when the credit is due. But I still want to see adversity. How are we going to do when the run game is not working? How are we going to do when a defensive coordinator schemes up a good plan for us? How we're going to do when this is football. It's inevitable. We might have an injury or two on offense. Like how we're gonna game plan for that. Like what's gonna happen when the defense have a bad day. All those just when the whole day not going right. Like how we're gonna face that adversity. That's what I would like to see.
And I'm a little bit of the opposite. I actually want to see what happens when they handle, what happens and how they handle success. If the Saints can go out and beat Philadelphia, they're 3-0. Everything changes now because now you went from cellar dwellers and nobody even considering you to all of a sudden now you're the lead story on ESPN and everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon saying how they knew you were going to be a good team because of Clint Kubiak and Dennis Allen and Derek Carr is a good quarterback and all of a sudden we're going to start hearing MVP talks for Alvin Kamara and Derek Carr, and I want to see how they handle the success because when you have to play a team like the Dallas Cowboys, you're expected to lose. A team like the Philadelphia Eagles, teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, they're expected to lose these games. That's fine. Let me know what happens when you have to play another Carolina type of team, when you got to play them once you've had a little bit of steam. If the Saints are 5-0 and they have to play a Tampa Bay team or an Atlanta team that's not necessarily, on the right path, I want to see how they handle that part of it because are you going to read the press clippings or are you going to remember when they were saying that you were bad? That's what I want to see the most.
Yeah, man. But quiet as kept, the Bucks are pretty doing good flying under the radar right now. Maybe that's a matchup that's worth being noted more. Like, with the Kansas City, they're not going to have Pacheco out there. They're not going to have Hollywood Brown out there. I still think that's a good matchup, but I don't really just want to overlook the Bucks and the Falcons. Maybe Kirk Cousins, maybe he don't be in as much pain as he is right now because I really feel like he's playing through pain. But maybe down the line when we face him, he's a bit more healthier. So all these games are going to be worth noting. But when it comes to the Eagles, man, how do you feel about this matchup coming to the Dome? Like you say, you want to see how we play with the success on us, and we're not the underdog no more. We can't surprise anybody anymore. Like these defenses going to have more film on them on us. Like riding high with the success coming into the Dome. A lot of people are going to expect a blowout again. Especially with the Eagles defense not being able to stop the run, and the secondary is not looking all that. So how do you feel about the matchup that we got with Philly coming into town?
I mean, I think it's a favorable matchup as far as strength on strength. What the Philadelphia Eagles want to do on offense is exactly what the Saints need to prove they can stop on defense. I think the Saints have to be able to stop a mobile quarterback. Bryce Young, for his bad as he played against the Carolina, I'm sorry, when he played, when the Saints played Carolina, Bryce Young escaped contained quite a few times, and had he been a better quarterback, he could have made some big plays. So I think that scares me a little bit. It scares me that the Saints haven't really found their pass rush just yet. So I'm kind of interested to see how the Saints handle Philadelphia as far as what they're able to do well, and that's run the ball, of course. That's the quarterback break contain, get outside the pocket, and you have to stop a mobile quarterback. And again, man, it's can the Saints finally get some pass rush? So those are the things I'm interested to see as far as matchup wise. Offensively against the Saints, I'm sorry, against the Philadelphia defense. Can the Saints continue to run the ball? I want to see if the offensive line it is really what we thought they were, or if maybe Dallas was a little bit overrated. Has Trevor Penning turned the corner? Is Taliosa Fuaga exactly what we thought? What we thought we were getting as far as a rookie draft pick. So I'm interested to see strength on strength what happens, because Philly is a team that's going to get after the quarterback, and the Saints have the Saints have proven themselves twice this year as far as pass rush, but Carolina really didn't have one, and Dallas got neutralized because of the run game. I want to see what happens, when Philly gets out there and tries to have these exotic blitzes and stuff coming at the Saints, and how they're able to handle it.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to Philly, they pass rush. They didn't really get to Kirk like that, but the Falcons, they have a good offensive line. Now, week one, like you said, team was still figuring a lot of things out. Like a lot of people look at week one as that fourth preseason game. So week one they had T.J. Watts. A lot of people can't stop T.J. Watts. Plus, they had the luxury of having Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator on the Steelers. So maybe that was more insight and helpful than we thought. And like I said, Kirk was just still going through injury pain. But the Falcons, they have a pretty good offensive line. Now when we play the Eagles, maybe things will look different. But as far as us stopping Hurts, the thing about Hurts, when they had success playing us, they had a different offensive coordinator at the time. Now this new offensive coordinator, I don't know if they're really playing to Hurts' strengths like that. We'll have to see. But yes, his legs still can be challenging. Like when he breaks out the pocket. Saquon Barkley, he's a beast. He's going to be a challenge. Their offensive line, they could block for Saquon Barkley just as good as the Saints could block for Alvin Kamara. So I feel like that's going to be a challenge, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Like I don't know if Goddard or Devontae Smith, I don't know if that's going to be enough with the passing game. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. Plus, I just think we're gonna gash them. I just think we're gonna really gash them the same way the Atlanta Falcons did and the Green Bay Packers did.
I mean, Philly has their warts. What I'm saying? They can be run on. I think that's been proven. And I also think the back end of the defense, which you was alluding to, man. I mean, Atlanta was able to get open quite a few times on that back end. So if the pass rush doesn't get home, they're not like the Saints in which the back end can cover. That's not who Philly is. They're trying to figure it out, but that's not. They haven't made it. They haven't made the adjustments just yet. So do I think the Saints have some advantages they can take advantage of? Absolutely. I'm not going to pick the Saints to win this game just yet. Part of it is superstition. The other part of it is I want to kind of see how Philly bounces back on a short week. I think it's Monday Night Football. They had a physical game with Atlanta that kind of took them down to the wire. They ended up losing. I want to see how Philly bounces back from that. And because of that, man, I think the Saints still have some things to prove to me before I give them the green light and say, you know what, I'm fully on board as far as my ability to believe the Saints will be the team that we wanted them to be, but not necessarily believe they could be.
Well, I know you're big on logistics, so they played the Monday night game, and then they got to travel to New Orleans to come to the Dome. What's your score prediction?
Man, if I think it's going to be a kind of a game that reminds me of what happened just now with Philly and Atlanta. I think it's going to be very similar to that. I think it's going to be one of those 27-24 ball games, close score, last team with the ball wins type nonsense, man. I think it's going to be very close to that. I don't think if the Saints blow out the Eagles, man, the league in trouble. Because the kind of confidence Derek Carr is playing with right now, I don't think they want to see him get any more confident than what he is, because right now he believes everything. Like, I've never seen Derek Carr act like this. As far as just, the shit talking that he's doing right now, man. Derek Carr is in his duffel right now. And he's believing in everything that's going on with the Saints offensively. So for me, man, I'm not sure the league wants to see, Derek Carr really, really start to expand, like kind of like, I mean, he was on his, when his MVP season before it got cut short because of injury. Like, he believes in his system, and he has the weapons to help him. So I mean, man, I'd hate to see how Derek Carr and the Saints offense is going to act if they can actually get past Philly, but get past them, without any real struggle.
Well, I feel like we'll beat Philly, man. I really feel like the matchups are very much in our favors. I think our defense is way better than their defense. We at home, like you say, that probably could be a problem while we on the high. We on our high horse. Plus, Philly just lost that game. They're gonna have it on their mind. I know City Dude's gonna have it on his mind. Maybe he could be a help to, giving some insight on how that defense really worked with Dennis Allen, for the philosophy wise. But I really feel like the Saints are going to win this game. Like matchup wise, I just can't see. Now, if they had AJ Brown, I'll probably have changed my tune and probably. But even if they did have AJ Brown, like defensively, I don't think their defense is as good as our defense. Like I just see a mismatch there. But yeah, man, if they win this game, if they win this game in any fashion, I would have to give them credit. Like what would have to happen for you to give the Saints, the almost respect and just say, okay, they a legit contender. Like I've seen enough. What would have to happen? Like, will it happen this week if they beat Philly in a dominant fashion, or or are you one of those guys who you don't know who nobody is until week 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride this train, bro. Like, as far as the doubt is concerned, I'm gonna ride it until I can't ride it no more, man. I'm thinking that it might take not necessarily all the way to week 10, but definitely later in the season. I mean, it's still early. I mean, at any given point, like we could play Philadelphia this week, and again, God forbid, I'm trying to bar injuries here, but they could get injured. Derek Carr goes down, and all of a sudden now, the entire complexion of the season changes. I mean, Taysom Hill just got hurt in this game with a chest injury. So at any given time, things could change for the worse. So no, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I mean. And another part of that is superstition. I don't want to jinx what's already going on, because I was the one, very vocally saying the Saints won't win very many games this year. For me to change my tune now might, basically cause that to happen. So for the hope of Saints fans, I'm gonna go ahead on and say they're gonna lose, the games I said they was gonna lose, so they can keep proving me wrong.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if your opinion is tethered to them going out there on that field winning games. And it's funny because I was just watching a Cowboys podcast before we played them, and after we played them, and the Cowboys podcast dude was like, somebody in this chat just told me the Cowboys lost because I was bigging them up. Like I don't think them going out there on that field is tethered to this microphone and this ring light. And that was just so funny to me, bro. Because I seen other Cowboys fans say, "Yeah, we lost because of Bubble Dub and all this and all that." But I don't know, man. I'm kind of past the superstition. I used to have that very bad. I'm talking about even when it come down to me wearing certain briefs. Like I wanted to only wear my black briefs. Like I ain't want to wear no color. Like I couldn't wear no nothing if we played the Panthers or something. But I'm kind of past that. Like, man, whatever them dudes do, that they gonna have to go out there and go do it on their own. But when it comes to Clint Kubiak, man, this is the new star kid in the league right now. He's the young high shot right now. A lot of people give Dennis Allen praise for hiring him, but I think it was the obvious choice. That's just me, though. Like, he was the most, sought out coordinator out there at the moment to me. They had Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson decided to stay. They had Slowick, but he decided to stay. Then they had Zach Robinson. He went to Atlanta, but, what Kubiak had over Zach Robinson was the fact that he actually was an offensive coordinator before calling plays. Zach Robinson, this is his first time. So I really felt like it was the obvious choice. But when it comes to Clint Kubiak, is there a situation where, something can happen? Well, I don't think this will happen, but can you possibly see a situation like, man, we can't lose this dude if he get another head coaching offers?
Nah, man. I think they could lose Clint Kubiak and they're gonna be fine. I mean, I don't think the offense or the good vibes stop because Clint Kubiak leaves. I don't think that happens like that. I think they'll be able to find, like for example, his younger brother Clay Kubiak. I mean, San Francisco. If you feel like you want to go to the San Francisco tree, there's enough branches there for you to be able to kind of replace a Clint Kubiak. Now, do I think Clint is that dude? Of course, I do. I think he's proven that thus far he could. That's
You kind
I
of
mean, I
breaking up.
still think there are other guys out there available if the Saints need to. If the Saints need to go down, my fault, fam. It's the area I'm in. Am I still bad?
Now you good right now. But
It's
boy, that
still
was a
bad,
little,
fam.
you good right now, but that was
I
a little
bet.
cut
I mean,
I think a lot of people wanted to hear. Like, go back to what you was talking about Clay Kubiak and just the monkey branching on the 49ers.
yeah, man. I'm just saying, man. I think that if you want to pluck a branch from the 49er tree, they got plenty of branches for you to choose from. And I also think Clint Kubiak could look around the NFL and try to find the best situation for him, because the one thing you don't want to do as a coach is come out the gate struggling. We see that with the cat right now in Carolina. I mean, he parlayed his stint with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into a head coaching job, but it's not the right situation for him to be in. So maybe Clint Kubiak looks around the NFL and say, kind of does like Ben Johnson and says, you know what, I could leave and go be a head coach somewhere, or I could sit back for a coordinator one more year, see if we can kind of, win the Super Bowl. Let me go back with this group, and maybe, just maybe, next year it'll be, they'll have a better team in which I can kind of go to instead.
Yeah, I agree. I know a lot of people are just coming up with a whole bunch of things like, yeah, man, we could just promote Clint Kubiak and Dennis Allen and could just get demoted and just take the defensive coordinator job. Like, I don't think people understand how embarrassing that would be on Dennis Allen's part to even consider something like that.
I don't know why people think that would even be a remote possibility for that to even happen, because if they're having success with Dennis Allen, the head coach, and Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, why would Dennis Allen change that? Why would anybody? That's like, I mean, sometimes I think fans can be so unrealistic, it's almost borderline stupidity. And it's almost like all you got to do really is put yourself in that situation. At your job, are you going to take a demotion so somebody else can get ahead of you? Hell no. So like, stop being so damn retarded.
Yeah, man. Like, if the Saints are really stuck in a rock and a hard place, like, they're gonna have to go with one or the other, and whoever be the odd man out, they're gonna literally be the odd man out completely. So, but yeah, man. When it comes to Clint Kubiak, that I think the only way people could get what they want, if they want just him to be the head coach or whatever, the only way is if the defense take a step back and the offense keep rolling, and we just so happen end up with a 9-8 winning season or something like that. Like, something like that have to occur. Well, the Saints are really like putting a rock in a hard place where they really going to come down to a decision.
I don't think there's any situation that Dennis Allen would have fired unless it totally went bad, and then you could have seen Clint Kubiak getting promoted. Other than that, and when I mean the WWE Royal Rumble brawl in the locker room, other than that, he wasn't gonna lose. Like, it was his to be there with it. So I mean,
I
I don't
think
see what other people see and look at the situation.
you're going to do some mountains right now, B. B gonna have to just pop out and come back, y'all. Y'all know B, he a truck driver, so y'all give us a little grace. He gonna pop out and come back. But yeah, man, I agree, man. Like, I don't really see no situation where Dennis Allen could get demoted. Like, it's gonna have to be one or the other. But I don't really see that happen. I just think they're gonna just ride it out with Dennis Allen unless everything just go completely off the rails. Like, we would have to win at least 7 games or less for him to be out. Maybe even 8 games. But 7 games or less, I probably think that'll be what'll be done to, have all that type of stuff occur. Because I know a lot of people like, well, just keep everything the same. We got success right now. We don't need to worry about that. But a lot of people are saying, man, we need to find a way to keep Clint Kubiak. And if that man got head coaching aspirations, he ain't gonna be able to do it here. He's not gonna be able to do it here if he has success. So, that's the only tough pill you got to swallow about the NFL. Like, when you have success, when it comes to these people with the staffs, they're going to get job offers. And, if they get job offers, they're going to want to go start their own culture, leave their own legacy. Maybe they'll stay for one more year and try to just run it back if things are just in a perfect situation. But eventually, they're going to want to move on and start their own legacy, man. Like, you ain't going to have that Ben Johnson, Slowick stuff just happen very often like that. And if it does happen, it probably just be for 1 year. But yeah, man. Once Bryan pop back in, he probably pop back in soon. We're gonna go ahead on and let you guys ask him any questions that you have for like the last 30 minutes and let you guys be interactive with them and stuff. And whatever question you have, just go ahead on and put it to the comment section and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Let's go ahead on and read some of your comments for now. Anyway, while we wait on Bryan, we'll go ahead on and scroll up. I know a lot of you guys have wrote some stuff up here. Let's go ahead on and see what you guys. Let's see. All right, we got Nicholas says Derek Carr is the same exact quarterback he was last year. He didn't wake up in year 11 and become elite. Scheme is everything. Yeah, Nicholas, everybody was saying, like, man, if Clint Kubiak could get this guy right, man, that'll pay off in dividends. You know, I just think a lot of people were just worried about the offensive line, you know, more than anything. They were worried about the skill positions more than anything when it comes to like wide receiver and tight end. And to me, I still think we can have some more depth when it comes to that. What up, B?
What up, bro?
Are you good?
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm in a better spot now.
All right. Well, sure, we're going to get to the part where, you know, we're going to let the fans just, you know, ask you questions or whatever and put them in the comment section. If you got any questions you want to ask B, go ahead on and put it down in the comment section. We'll get to it as soon as possible. I think I've seen a few questions already. Let me see. All right, we got Hoodie Jude asked a question. He says, if we beat Philly, what y'all think the next game is going to look like? The next 3 games? Like, if we put together another butt whipping on them, like the Cowboys game, what's your prediction on the next 3 games? Falcons, Chiefs, and Bucks.
2-1.
2-1?
Yeah. 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, I can see 2-1. I can see
them beating the Bucks and the Falcons and losing to the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. We got any more questions? Yeah, if y'all got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and put it down in the chat. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. We got Brooke Saint says, would another dominant win versus the Eagles turn you into a believer? Are we a playoff team, or has that already happened?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know, man. That playoff talk is very premature early, man. I mean, at any given time, like the Saints could actually, you know, as of right now, they could beat the Chiefs, but they could also lose to the Bucks and the Panthers and be behind the 8 ball in the division. So, I mean, I think it's premature right now for anybody to be kind of pounding their chest talking about playoffs. Let's kind of, you know, slow your roll on that a little bit. But do I think the Saints are a much improved team? Absolutely. Do I think they should make the playoffs at this point after starting 2-0? Absolutely. But do I think that they will? We got to pump the brakes. This is 2 weeks into the season. They started off well last year. Let's not forget this.
Yeah, man. I just think it's the way we won in dominance these 2 games compared to last year. 2 games, we won those 2 games last year, but we kind of barely got by. And then come to find out those teams that we beat wasn't even in the playoffs, and they was like, you know, picking top 5 in the or top 10 in the draft. So I really think the dominant factor, fashion matters. You know, fashion matters to me, but you know, when it comes to winning 14 games and talking about Super Bowl, I think that's premature to me. Now, playoffs, I mean, from day one, I thought the Saints had a chance to make the playoffs because I felt like, you know, we could win this division. I felt like the division was a 3-way race between us, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons. So, you know, I always said we had a chance, you know, to make the playoffs because the division is still, in my opinion, a weak division. I feel like none of these teams are Super Bowl contenders. That's just my thoughts right now. You know, but you know, they still have time to make me a believer and prove me wrong, man. They still have more time. Because I felt like the best way to make the playoffs was to go through the division. You know, I thought getting a wild card would be pretty hard because you know they had teams like the Lions and the Packers. They had teams like the 49ers and the Seahawks. They had teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys, you know. So but now, like you say, the injuries can change things. The whole landscape can change. Just in the NFC West alone, you look at the 49ers. I still got hopes that they could make the playoffs, even though they're going to have Christian McCaffrey out some weeks, even though they're going to have Debo out some weeks. I still have hopes that they're going to make the playoffs because I just think they're a good organization and they can get through that adversity. And you look at the Rams. The Rams, they lost Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So it's like, damn, I really think they're kind of done. So that changed the whole landscape of that whole division. Then you got the Cardinals and the Seahawks. They're a pretty solid team. So I feel like that changed the whole landscapes of things, man. Just certain stuff. So early on in the season, stuff is just susceptible to happen. Let's see. But my 49ers been struggling this year. Yeah, man, the 49ers, they lost to the Vikings. The Vikings got like a crazy record against the 49ers, that just kind of blew my mind. But at the same time, they just lost Debo. They already was going to lose Christian McCaffrey for a while. So 49ers, man, they're going to have to get it out the mud. I ain't going to lie. They're going to have to get it out the mud because, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, they got something to say about the division as well. Let's see. We got Nicholas says, very happy to hear Bryan in the mix spitting balls about the Saints. Hope the shows continue to drive. Thank you, man. Thanks. Try to put out more content for you guys. I'm trying to scroll up to see some more of you guys comments. We got Hoodie Drew said, credit to the Falcons winning yesterday, but I felt more like it was handed to them. Should have ran the ball on third and ran the clock down. Barkley should have caught it. Plus, the Falcons' offense needed help. At the end of the day, they got out there with a win, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff that the Eagles did that they really like put themselves in that position. Like the drop by Barkley. C.D. Deuce, he got caught sleeping on that play to Mooney. You had Darius Slay, he got caught on one play to London. Like it was a lot of stuff. And just like how they won that game, I feel like if we won that game, Hoodie, you wouldn't be saying, "Oh yeah, man, we got that game handed to us." You would say, "Yeah, man, we made the best of that opportunity. We made the best of that opportunity." The Eagles, they made mistakes and we took advantage. But since the Falcons did it, you say, "Oh yeah, they got handed to them." Like that's just the way I think you be thinking, Hoodie. That's just the way I think you be thinking. Because you had them going 0-5 the next 5 games, and they beat the Eagles, which kind of shocked everybody. So, if they go out there and they go beat the Chiefs, that changed the whole narrative on them. Because, a lot of people have been teasing the Falcons that week 1 loss versus the Steelers. But, we got to remember that was week 1. A lot of them, they didn't even play the preseason. Like that preseason, people are forgetting. Like it's 3 preseason games now. A lot of these starters are not playing. A lot of these guys are missing. Reps. Not everybody just gonna look good like how the Saints are looking good. Teams gonna have to get on the good foot after like week 1, week 2, and start to get that chemistry together. And then you got to remember, like, they're going to have an 18th game probably. So instead of having 3 preseason games, we might only have 2. So coming in the future, the start of the season might start looking very much more, even more messier. But then I think people are going to start playing more people in the preseason just because it's going to only be 2 games. So we're going to have to see. So what's your record prediction for the first 6 games record-wise? And what's your record predictions now since the first 2 games so far? Has it changed? I always said the floor was 7 wins. I thought the ceiling was 9 wins. But since we beat the Cowboys, I think that I will probably give them 1 more win. Instead of having 8-9, I think we'll probably go 9-8. But, who's to say we probably lose to one? We probably lose one of them games I had us winning. Like, just because I had the Cowboys, just like I had the Cowboys winning, we probably lose one of them games that I had us. We probably lose one of them games I had us winning. Like, we probably lose the game down the line against the Commanders. Like, I had us beat the Commanders, but that game is the game that we lose that I had us winning, and it'll still be the same with my prediction. What up, B?
What's good, fam?
Yeah. All right, so
Man, sometimes the Mountains play nice and sometimes they don't, fam.
yeah, man, it's all good. I think a lot of people in the chat already know what your situation is, so they give you grace. Ain't nobody tripping, dog.
Yeah, brother, I'm on that road trying to get it. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna buy them same Super Bowl tickets this year, I gotta go make that money. You feel me?
Hey, I've been saying all along, but the Saints could prove me wrong and go to the Super Bowl. If people thinking I'm gonna be mad, boy, they sadly mistaken, because I'm gonna be on Bourbon Street right with the ass.
I'm trying to tell you, right with them.
Real drunk. You know what I'm saying? But And it's crazy when I talk about being drunk. I was talking about if you played a drinking game last year with the Saints and took a shot for every time they scored a touchdown, you probably go weeks before you could get drunk. Now you could get drunk in the second quarter.
First quarter.
First quarter. First quarter, you
I
starting to
mean,
feel it. You putting that Frankie Beverly on, you putting that Mays on you, you starting to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let you be on some of that tequila that's popular right now, that Don Julio that everybody drinking. Shoot.
yeah, man. It's a whole lot going around, bro. Whatever your drink is, you definitely could get it right now.
Yeah. Hoodie Jube said, and I will be enjoying that free $50 dinner or lunch. Yeah, remember Hoodie Jube? He said before the season we'll win 12 games, and you said you'll take that bet too. But
Oh yeah, I ain't forgot. I'm a man of my word.
yeah, man, I got you on if we get them 12 wins, Hoodie. But just know if we lose 6 games, once we lose that 6 games, I want my $50.
Trying to tell you, bro.
Not hoping that we lose it, but if we lose that 6 game, I want my $50. You come on my stream and I eat that good old salmon right in front of you. So, all right, let's see, man. Everybody has us losing to the Chiefs. That team is beatable. I think we're going to have problems with the Eagles because we have issues with running quarterback. Pat is a pass-first quarterback, so we can steal that game. What you think about that?
I think the logic makes sense there. I think Kansas City is a different beast at home than they are on the road. And I also think that, styles make fights. So could it be a situation to where, Philadelphia is just a better matchup than the Chiefs? Of course, I believe that's possible. I also think that, it's, sometimes there's no answer for something that's just, you can't solve. Like what's the old saying? What came first, the chicken or the egg or something like that? That's trying to figure out Pat Mahomes. Like, what do you do to stop this man? Because you can see somebody else do it. It doesn't mean that you're able to accomplish it because maybe you don't have the horses that they have in order to run that race. I get the vibes are high right now, man, but I think sometimes, bro, people take, they don't take what's the old saying? You give them an inch, they take a yard. These people here taking 100.
Yeah, man. Like Bucky Brooks, he just put out his power rankings, and he had the Saints number 2. So like you say, man, how are we going to handle this success and this high we on? Because now we probably don't go into the Arrowhead as an underdog like how we thought we was going to be doing. Like we're going to go, and it's probably going to be, half the people probably going to say the Saints, half the people probably going to say the Chiefs when they're going to picking their teams on the end of the screen. So, but as far as that go, like I really would like to see how we handle that team versus Pacheco. Because a lot of people fail to realize we were a team that could not stop the run. Like the Panthers, they were just a garbage team. Hubbard. Hubbard. He's not really moving the needle for me. And Zeke Elliott, he is old. I want to see if we can stop the run. And Pacheco, he's a guy that run hard. Like I really like him as a running back. He's a good running back to me. Like I would really have liked to see that matchup with a Patrick Mahomes, Pacheco, and Travis Kelce out there, along with your guys like Worthy and who else they got? Rasheed Rice and all of them. Like I really would have liked to see that matchup, but it's going to be a good game nonetheless. Like we go out there and we go get a winning Arrowhead. That's credible to me. All right, let's see. I bet. The bet should have been whoever wins the closest to their prediction. Like me, I was at 12. You were at 7 and 8. So we get 11. I was the closest because you predicted 7 to 10 or 8 and 9, and I predicted 12 and 5. Now, we ain't going to go through all that, Hoodie. We had 12 games. 12 games, that's what we said. That's what we sticking by. But, we won these first 2 games, Hoodie. You should feel comfortable with your 12 wins. We just got to go out there and go get 10 more. With the back end of the schedule, man, you should feel comfortable, bro. You should feel comfortable. When it comes to the schedule, Bryan, the 3 main games that I had a tough time picking was the Broncos game, but I gave us the win. The Browns game, I just didn't know what type of Deshaun Watson we were going to play, but I knew that defense was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be tough to stop Nick Chubb if he was healthy. And another game that was going to be hard to predict was that goddamn Chargers game because I felt like they don't really have enough weapons, skill position-wise. But, Harbaugh, he got those guys playing good. That defense pretty much looking good. Justin Herbert, he was already a good quarterback to me. So they already had the head coach quarterback duo. And, other than that, you got to stop Dobbins. You got to stop J.K. Dobbins. But his injury history, shoot, I felt like he probably was going to mess around and miss that game by the time we played them.
Which, you look at the Saints and you're like, you know what? The game I thought was going to be a bad game, it kind of looks more favorable now. And I think the Browns game, for example, is one of those games. You mentioned it. I say it automatically. I say if Jameis plays that game, I like the Browns' chances. If Deshaun plays, I'm going to take the Saints. And that's, one way or another, do the poor play or whether it be because he got injured. I didn't think Deshaun was going to be that far down in the season. And if Jameis plays that game, I'm giving him the advantage. I always felt like it was a red flag to me that Jameis was like the offseason leader, and he shouldn't have been. That kind of always threw me off with Cleveland. That being said, I think that's going to be a tougher game if Jameis is the quarterback because he had a lot to prove. I think that, everybody, Jameis, for as much as he get a rap or whatever like that for being a goofball, man, you don't never hear nobody talking bad about him as a teammate, and people play for him. So I think that game could be a little bit tougher than normal. The Chargers, we'll see what they are, towards the end of the season, man. But I mean, some of the games on the Saints' end of the schedule, it's starting to look way more favorable than what it did. As I stated earlier, this was the hard part of the schedule, getting past the Dallas and the Philly and the Kansas City Chiefs and stuff like that. And to me, I think what the question that everybody wants to know is, well, what's going to change your mind? What's going to change your mind? If Dennis Allen and the New Orleans Saints absolutely smoke the Denver Broncos, and what I mean by smoke is, if Dennis Allen go out there and drop like 60 points on Sean Payton's head, I don't want nothing, because that'll tell me he ain't being friendly no more. And if Dennis Allen ain't being friendly no more and he's willing to mess over Sean Payton in the process, I'm all for it.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like, oh yeah, man, this Derek Carr, man, he's changed, man. He's out there playing with swag. He's doing the Michael Jackson dances and all this and all that. But a lot of people feel like, man, winning cures everything, man. Winning can, build up confidence. And last year, I really seen Derek Carr doing these same things. I seen Derek Carr doing a Dougie in the end zone with Rashid Shaheed. I've seen Derek Carr, when we was beating the Vikings, when we beat the Giants, and he was just pointing down, saying he the man and all this and all that. I've seen that moxie out of Derek Carr last season. But when you win these games in dominant fashion and then you're doing these things, people just see it through a different lens. My biggest thing is I'm looking at Dennis Allen. When he was in the locker room, he said, sometimes you got to pop out and show him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that that's a change to me. Now, did Dennis Allen say that on his own, or did one of the players tell him to say that? Me, I think one of the players told him to say that. But just him saying it, nevertheless, it just shows a different swag. But, we're just going to have to see how everything continues, man. So that's where I'm at with it. But, yeah, man, like, when it comes to the offensive line, do you think they can sustain the success even with Clint Kubiak, scheming them up, and hiding their flaws and things of that nature? Or do you think, man, it's just the NFL, it's a matter of time before these defensive coordinators, they be able to just, work around that?
No, I think it's sustainable for two reasons. One, if you pay attention to the teams that are better off in the NFL, the one thing that they have is a healthy offensive line. So if the Saints O-line can stay healthy, I think they'll be better. And part two of that is confidence. Right now, the Saints have those two things going for them. They're a confident bunch, and they're a healthy guy, a healthy group. So with those two things being there, I think it's sustainable. I don't think there's anything the NFL is going to be able to do to put on game film and be like, you know what? Got them now. It ain't going to happen like that. I think it's going to be a matter of health and continuity and consistency. If they can keep the train rolling with the confidence they're playing with now, yeah, I think they'll definitely be able to withstand some of the better defenses in the NFL.
We got 21 people up in there. If y'all liking the show, go ahead on and hit the like button. If y'all got any questions for Bryan, put it down in the comment section below. We'll get to your question as soon as possible. Any questions about the Saints, man, go ahead on and ask your questions. We're going to have him up in here for like another good 10 minutes. Then we're going to let him go. He's on the road right now. So y'all go ahead on and get y'all questions in ASAP, man. We're going to get to them as soon as possible. Yeah, man, when it comes to the offensive line and I already just felt like the starting five, they just wasn't going to be as talented, but I did feel like, okay, well, if they could get schemed to hide their flaws, maybe we could have some success. Now, would it be sustainable? That remains to be seen. But right now, you got to be happy for what you're seeing. I really just think I think that the Saints, when they played the Panthers, that was just a bad team. When they played the Cowboys, I really think the Saints had just the matchup just went in their favor. Like I say, no Ferguson, and they were already bad against the run. Like that Shanahan tree or whatever, that's been giving them problems. Like we've seen it with the 49ers, we've seen it with the Lions, we've seen it with the Green Bay Packers. That scheme gives that team problems. And Mike Zimmer was supposed to come up in there and just help with that. But like I say, I'm one of them guys. You gotta prove it to me. You gotta show me that you can stop this. And as of now, it's been proven that they can't stop that just now. They got time to see if they can, but as of now, it hasn't been proven. So I really think the Saints are just catching favorable matchups. I really feel like that. So, but at the end of the day, you still gotta like what you're seeing with this offensive group nonetheless. Like I think Clint Kubiak, he's calling good plays, he's scheming these guys open. You're seeing Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, they're not really just out there mossing nobody. They're just getting open because of the scheme. So it's good to see these guys catching balls freely and then having space to get yacked right after the catch. Like it's good to see that. It's good to see. Nobody's been saying anything about Trevor Penning. So all that is good to see, man. I'm starting to see a lot of people say, yeah, man, where's that agenda talk? Where's that snake talk? Like, a lot of people are, pumping their chest for Derek Carr, and, he's getting that support behind him. You got a lot of people like Kay Adams. She's saying y'all should support y'all quarterback. How do you feel about everything that's going on right there when it comes to that type of stuff, B?
I think the people who were Carr supporters, take your victory lap. No question about that. But if for any person out there believing that the agenda has gone anywhere, it hasn't. It's just there isn't to push the agenda forward in this moment. Derek Carr is playing well, which he should have been, because this is the Derek Carr you pay $150 million for. Like let's not kid ourselves. The Saints had a top 10 offense last year too. So the Derek Carr that we are seeing now is the Derek Carr we thought we were getting last year. It's the Derek Carr that people want to see. It's Derek Carr that people need to see. So if the scheme and the talent are fitting, then yeah, take your victory lap. But I'll say it if nobody else will. I think Spencer Rattler would be just as good in the same scheme, because sometimes scheme matters. And I think scheme and talent, when they match, that's when you get the results we're seeing right now from the Saints. So yeah. Do I think teams like the Cowboys may struggle with the fact that the San Francisco scheme in and of itself is designed to beat what they do? Absolutely, I think it's possible. However, let's not kid ourselves. It's not like the Carolina Panthers could just run that scheme and all of a sudden they become a good team. You got to have the talent as well, and the Saints had that. So now talent and scheme match, you get the perfect marriage, and this is what it is, especially behind an elite defense. So, yeah, I think Derek Carr has every reason to poke out his chest, talk his shit, his fans and his supporters, the Kardashians. Go ahead on and, if you feeling sexy right now, go ahead on and feel that way. Let's just be clear on this. While you taking your victory lap, don't think you doing something that's of uber importance to where it's like, haha, we told you. What exactly did you tell me? That Derek Carr was going to play well and the Saints was going to do good? Oh, damn, you hurt my feelings by telling me that. Like, sometimes I think fans get delusional because they want you to be a fan like they're a fan. Just don't get your ass kicked behind your Saints fandom and we okay.
Yeah. I mean, I really was one of the people who wanted to see Snake just sit for this year. Like, I didn't really want him to come out here and start because I was just fearful for the offensive line. But, the offensive line is playing well. And do I feel like in these first two games, if Snake was to play these first two games, we would have had the same success? I don't know if it'll be the same, but I do believe we will have success. Putting up 40-some points both games, that's very hard to do. 35 points, that's very hard to do. But, all I felt like was when it came to the offensive line, I felt like we didn't have enough good starters, and when it came to the wide receivers and the skill positions, I felt like we were just missing one dog at tight end or one dog at wide receiver, and I still feel like that. Like, can this be something that you can ride all through the playoffs? Maybe so, because you got the offensive coordinator, you got the running game, you got the defense. But sometimes, bro, like you say, when skill meets scheme, you can have something special. And when it comes to the scheme, I feel like we have it. But you got to be realistic, man. This is football, and if somebody go down, like especially in the playoffs, we're gonna need somebody to pick up that slack. And luckily that we have A.T. Perry, Kendre Miller, and a Nick Saldiveri out there waiting in the wings just in case that does happen. But it's always good to be ahead of the curve and go get a starting veteran out there before they even get to that point.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Saints make a couple of moves to show off the depth on the team because we don't know who the number 3 receiver is, and you know it's kind of weird to say it that way, but I don't know if they need it right now based on the teams they're playing, but as you say, the depth purposes, they're going to need it. I don't think A.T. Perry, if Olave, God forbid, should go down, is just going to step in and it's going to be a smooth transition. I don't think that. I think the reason why we see Shaheed eating the way we see him eating is because Olave is that much of a threat. So do I think Olave numbers are the numbers that put up like a number 1 wide receiver? No, but I think the attention that he gets definitely does. People got mad at me on another stream that I do, because I said Olave wasn't going to be like a number 1 receiver as far as his numbers, but that's not a knock on Olave. That's to show his greatness. If there's Olave and Shaheed out there, you can't double both of them. You're gonna have to do something different. So your coverages normally lean to the number 1 receiver. That's Olave. That means Shaheed is gonna eat, which is what we're seeing right now. If that can continue, then yeah, you may not need that Cedric Wilson or that A.T. Perry. But I don't think it can sustain. I don't think that part can be sustained. I think they're going to need a number 3 guy, and it doesn't have to be a receiver. It could be a tight end. It could be one of the backs. But somebody has to step up and be that third option offensively, or the Saints going to be in trouble because, as you stated earlier, what's going to happen when adversity hits?
Yeah, man. Like when adversity hits you, that's when you're going to know what type of team you got. Like, when it's a dog fight. When the run game just not working, then Carr gotta win this game for us. Like you say, we paid him all this money. We paid him all this money. And kudos to him. He had some good games. He's very efficient. But I think it's more so the scheme than Carr talent. Like now don't get me wrong. Those bombs that he throw to Shaheed, when he just putting it right in between both safeties, that's talent. But I be liking to see when a quarterback just carving a team up, marching upfield. That's what I like to see. Like bombs is cool, throwing the ball to a player when they get schemed open. That's cool. But I be liking to see that killer. I be liking to see when a quarterback is marching upfield and carving you up. But at the end of the day, maybe that's just not the type of quarterback that Derek Carr is, and we just got to take what we got with him and just do what works. And what's working is what we're doing right now. Take the deep shots when they're there. Rely on Rashid Shaheed's speed because they're giving a lot of attention to Olave. Let the backbone of the team be Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. And, when we asking you to throw across the middle and things of that nature, they're going to be schemed open for the most part. And, take advantage when we doing these play actions because that's what you're very good at.
Yeah, and look, Carr is a game manager, but he wasn't being paid to be. And I think in this system, he can be a bit above a game manager. Like what I want to see is exactly what you want to see. If you want me to change my opinion on Derek Carr,
Yeah, man. we just lost him right when he was about to say something about what he wanted to see out of Carr. Bryan, if you could hear me, we had lost you right when you said if you want to change my opinion on Derek Carr.
all right, facts. Okay, so if you want to change my opinion, I need to see him win a game. And I don't mean one of those games in which he's down 30-3 because, he threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter and that, resulted in pick sixes. Now, I want to see him win a game, as you said. I want to see the Breeze-like performance in which I'm hearing kill, audibles. He's basically dictating what's going on out there. And don't get me wrong, I love what I'm seeing so far. I'll take that every Sunday if that's what's available. But I ain't going to lie, I kind of want to see him. I want to see him break out of that mode of Gardner Minshew and Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins. I want to see him kind of step up into that upper elite group, that top 10 group. And if he can do that, I mean, for the next 2 years, man, say he's got their quarterback.
Yeah, man. my opinion on Carr, I feel like for these next 2 years, we could be afloat and we could have a chance. We could be afloat and we could have a chance. But the year after next, I think we should go ahead on and sometimes it's always good to be ahead of the curve a year early than a year too late. And I think we should go ahead on and get the keys to Spence Rattler or whoever we might end up with. But that's a lot down the line. Like as far as this season right now, the optimistic fans, I'm gonna let them have they parade, bro. They got every right to feel how they was feeling because they were supporting the team from day one. Just because the team is proving me wrong, I don't feel like it make me or anyone else who had these legit reasons any less of a fan. But at the end of the day, man, it's a fun season, bro. Like, and that's something that we couldn't see these last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, there was no hope. Like this team, like this team really didn't give us any hope or any reason to really believe in them until they took Spencer Rattler and and the agenda hype started. And truthfully, I'm not saying it plays a part or a huge part, but it could be playing a part. Maybe Derek Carr is playing out of his mind because there's a lot of pressure coming from behind him with the hype of Spencer Rattler and the love that Spencer Rattler got that, truthfully, I can't say Spencer earned, but it damn sure was given to him. And Derek Carr is like, man, look, you're probably looking in the cut like, I've done nothing to these people. Why the hell they hate me? So maybe, okay, if that's how it is, then hell on it. Let me show them. Let me give.
Yeah, we lost you again, B. As soon as you say, let me show them, let me give something. Yeah, we lost
Yeah,
you.
bro. It's not even an area I'm in, to be honest with you anymore, bro. There's something going on with the iPhone. I keep seeing my screen go out. Not really sure what that's about, but we'll deal with it.
We coming up on the hour right now anyway. I was gonna let you go ahead on and get up out of here right now anyway. So you got any last words you want to say about this Saints team? Overall, you like
Man,
your
look,
overall thoughts and just say about what you think
all
about
I'm gonna say is
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say it like this, bro. I've thus far through the first 2 weeks, I've been proven wrong. I hope it continues. I'm picking Philly to win, not necessarily just because I believe Philly gonna win, but because why change it now? If I pick Philly to lose, and if I pick the Saints to lose to Dallas, if I pick them to lose to Philly, and they go out there and win, I feel like I'm playing my part because I don't want to start picking the Saints to win and then they start losing games. So yeah, I'm all aboard the hate train. I'm gonna keep on, doing what I'm doing because if it's motivating, if it's not, if it's superstitious, whatever it may be, it's working right now. So I don't want to change anything.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the fans, I'm a lower tier. Like I'm one of them guys on Saints Twitter that a lot of people are just bookmarking. A lot of people are just coming in my mention saying this and saying that. But when it comes to the top tier people, I think you and Matt Moscone are at the top of the chain. You, Matt Moscone, and what is his name? Saints Block Party with Adam and Wolf.
And Wolf and Riot.
Yeah, Adam and Ryan. I think y'all at the top of the totem pole because y'all had stated what y'all was saying about the team. And what's funny? Nick Underhill and even Ross was saying the same stuff, but they don't get the blowback. Like I didn't even know Ross had the Bucks and then the Falcons at 2, and he had the Saints coming third in the division. Like I didn't even know that. But
when you're not a likable person,
yeah,
because you tend to tell the truth of your version of it, or whether you keep the facts. I try to take opinion out of it and try to stick with strictly fact-based stuff. But when you're not a likable person, it's easy for people to pick you out. Nick is a likable person. Ross, a likable person. I'm not. And the beautiful thing is that I don't give a shit. I wear it like a badge of honor. So it's easy for me to get the hate that I get, no matter how right or how wrong I may be. All I ever ask is that make sure your disrespect when you have to back up from it, it was as loud as when you didn't have to. So I don't pay no attention to that, man. I'll be a hated fan all of my life as long as you keep that shit online, because telling me that in person would end very badly.
Yeah, man, you and Matt Moscone are up there, bro. They at y'all next right now. But I'm gonna let you go ahead on and get up out of here, B, man. Thanks for coming on the show, bro. You welcome back anytime as always, bro. And be safe out there on that road, man.
That's what's up, brother. Just trying to make the transition smooth, man. I told you them Super Bowl tickets high, bro. I got 2 hotel rooms if anybody want them.
Oh man, 10 weeks in, I'm gonna be hollering at you. But shoot, they got a lot of people right now who probably really thinking they're gonna go to the Super Bowl right now. So I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna be that hard to sell.
I'm about to flip them. I'm telling you, I'm about to get back in my bag.
I be.
All right, fam.
All right. Got Lou up in here, man. Go ahead on and pop your shit, Lou. I know you've been waiting for me to get online, boy. I know you've been waiting for me to talk. As long as we win, who cares if the fans differ in opinion? Oh shit, don't talk that shit right now, Lou. You know you care. Because my opinion be different than your opinion, boy. You be typing like, oh shit, hell no, how could you think that? How could you say this? But you know, that's the beauty of this sport. You know, it brings everybody together. You know, it brings everybody together. We get on here, we make our predictions. We get on here, we have our stances. And after the game, somebody's gonna be right, somebody's gonna be wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, what matters is a Super Bowl. You know, so if you don't win that Super Bowl, it's like, yeah, you was right about something, but you know, we didn't really achieve what we all wanted to achieve. So, you know, at the end of the day, bro, that's the beauty of it. And when you could win that Super Bowl and you could be right and you won, there's no better feeling. So I would love for everybody to be right. We win that Super Bowl and shoot, I eat my words because I'm a man. You know, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm here doing this stream right now. Y'all in the comments, y'all talking that stuff right now. So I'm here. So, you know, but I'm gonna continue to have my stance. You know, the Saints gotta prove me wrong. I said my prediction before the season was 7 wins as the floor, 9 wins as a ceiling, and I ain't gonna change that. You know, like I was telling Hoodie earlier, we beat the Cowboys, but who's to say one of those losses that I gave, one of those wins that I gave them down the line turned into a loss? Like, yeah, we probably still go to the same record that I said. Just because we beat the Cowboys, what if we lose to the Commanders? Like I had us picking the Commanders to win, but what if we lose? So it still could be flip-flop either way. Let's see. Lou says, who that at the end of the day? Rose City says, who that no cap? Let me see. Lou says, I'm scared Clint Kubiak only to stay for 1 year. We got one shot at this. I mean, Lou, when it comes to Clint Kubiak, yes, he's going to be that high shot offensive coordinator, that young guy who's bringing, you know, his style and innovation to the league. And, you know, he's going to be the whiz kid. And those guys going to get head coaching offers. They get them offers very quick, very, very, very much quicker than a defensive coordinator, especially when you're young. So a lot of these organizations are trying to keep up with the times. They're trying to be modern, and they're trying to get guys that come in and, you know, talk to these young kids. So when it comes to Clint Kubiak, yes, man, if he get a head coaching offer, if he desires to be a head coach, he's going to take it, and we can't do nothing about that. Now, you know, he can run it back for one more season. Bobby Slowick, he did it with the Texans. He ran it back. Ben Johnson, he did it. He ran it back. So, you know, he ran it back with the Lions. So, you know, it's not out the realm of possibility that he won't run it back with us. You know, we got a lot of veterans on this team. I feel like these guys are going to be on this team for the next year or two, you know, but after the next season, I think a lot of these veterans are going to be gone. So I feel like that right there is our window. But I'm going to go ahead on the inner stream, man. It's a little past an hour. Y'all know how I do. I don't really like to stay on over an hour, you know. But we're gonna have to see, man. We got the Eagles coming into town Sunday. We riding high right now with the success. Everybody's talking about us. We're gonna see how we handle that success. You know, we're not the underdogs no more. We're not taking nobody by surprise no more. Let's see how we handle this. You know, I got the Saints winning this game. I ain't do a score prediction yet. I'm gonna just wait a little bit later in the week to give an actual score prediction, but I do got the Saints winning this game. But y'all be safe out there, and man, just who that, man.